People are trying to make a big deal out of Brittney Griner's dunk in the All-Star game, and let's just ignore the fact that this would be the least exciting dunk ever seen in a men's JV game, but this is super irresponsible of her, because don't you think you'd stay away from traveling like this after everything she's experienced?
Brittney Griner said she could beat DeMarcus Cousins in one-on-one, and then they went around asking a bunch of NBA players. The head coach of the UConn girl.
Welcome back to the Buzzer Update. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Today, I have another exciting and captivating film for you. So, a bizarre thing just occurred. Officially, Brittney Griner has hinted at a possible NBA transfer. And no, this isn't only a soundbite or a flex. It comes immediately after she was exposed in such a way that even her most ardent followers are avoiding her next move. Brittney has been involved in controversy before, but this one stands out. Fans' preconceived notions about her have completely changed as a result of the intense accusations of fraud against her. Now, everyone is wondering if the NBA will move her power play or let her go. Has she spent the entire time lurking in plain sight?
Shocked the basketball world, Brittney Griner has walked away from the game she once dominated, citing a relentless wave of public hate and emotional exhaustion as the final straw.
Let's not act as though this just happened. Griner was in the midst of what appeared to be a significant sponsorship change just 1 week ago. 3 mysterious statements about leveling the playing field and elite male competition. Her spokesman released 3 mysterious statements about leveling the playing field and elite male competition. By her spokesman, nobody gave it much thought at the time, but then several internal emails from AM Atlanta Dreamstoffer were released, accusing Brittney of manipulating optics to avoid being exposed in court. When you look closely at those emails, the language screams cover-up rather than scandal, which is where things really got out of control. Here's the crazy thing, though. In retrospect, the symptoms were always present. Recall the strange sideline interview from the previous season in which she stated, "If I were in the NBA," before catching herself. It didn't really draw much attention at the time. However, people are seeing it through a whole different perspective now that all of her past comments are becoming more widely known. However, Brittney has been caught on tape almost making a mistake more than once. This other interview, in which she stated, "Everyone should be allowed to play ball," has drawn attention from fans.
Everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats, and feel safe, and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are. Definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
At the time, Brittney appeared to be supporting athletes of all sexual orientations' rights to play professional sports. Fans are speculating, though, if Brittney was already hinting that she might make an unexpected move, such as joining the NBA, now that all of this has been made public. Not only that, but the Dream's front office has been utterly silent. They have not uttered a word. Not about Griner's claimed relocation, not about the leaks, and most definitely not about what she's purportedly attempting to conceal. It gives the impression that everything is planned, which is bad for the team and the league as a whole. But hold on, there's more. It wasn't even Brittney's out-of-pocket declaration that caused the internet to go crazy. We won't identify the former WNBA teammate who was discreetly unfollowing Brittney on everything because she is already being dragged. She unfollowed Brittney before reposting a story that said, "When the truth hits, they always pivot like it was part of the plan." That was taken and run with. Threads on Reddit lit up when NBA TikTok began piecing together past Brittney Griner press conferences. People stopped discussing what had been revealed. But let's not be distracted. What specific role did Brittney's purported deception play in this situation? What specifically caused her to be exposed? The same leaked internal communications claimed that Brittney's team had been trying to conceal papers related to an ongoing case in Phoenix for months. This is where things start to get pretty crazy. One of the most startling revelations from professional basketball in recent years may be the subject of that complaint. The whole issue came to light when a well-known female athlete was named in a lawsuit pertaining to purportedly fabricated medical records connected to a 2022 injury exemption. Fans began making connections all of a sudden. It turns out that Brittney was able to avoid a crucial part of the game and supposedly unlock benefits that she would not have otherwise received thanks to that exemption.
Everybody knows knows who Brittney Griner is. And if you don't know who Brittney Griner is, she is the WNBA star that we traded a weapons terrorist for about a year ago. And recently, a momentous personal occasion has happened for her.
You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling?
Pops.
Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops.
Now look, man, it's 2024. I don't care if a woman and a woman want to have a kid together. Good on them. More power to them. But it's just so weird to me. You want your son to call you Pops, and whenever his friends ask, what does your dad do for a living? He's supposed to say, oh, he plays in the WNBA. Now, to make this even more confusing, Brittney Griner maintains that she is a biological woman and identifies as female. I don't know. Congratulations to Brittney Griner for bringing in a baby boy. I just think it's very fascinating how this human somehow finds a way to create controversy out of everything.
Those small benefits elevate the situation to a whole new level of murky, even if there had been any possibility that it would have been ignored. Thus, the decision to join the NBA is beginning to feel like a preemptive escape strategy, or, worse, a diversion. Was this move to the NBA always in the works? Or is it just her escape hatch now that the WNBA doors are closing? Is the question that everyone is now asking. However, it becomes much more fascinating. Brittney Griner's relationship with the WNBA has been problematic since the Russia affair, as you may be aware. Indeed, the league posted tributes and presented her like a soldier coming from battle, and they welcomed her back.
It was nice to be back on the court in a real game and everything. The love from the fans when I came out was amazing. The players, I definitely feel it. I appreciate everything a little bit more. All the little small moments that I used to just like, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I don't want to go to practice today, or oh, this, that. I think that has changed, honestly. Just appreciating everything because tomorrow's not guaranteed. You don't know what it's going to look like. So I think that's kind of how it changed.
However, there were actual fractures going on behind the scenes. There was conflict over the amount of media attention she received, according to several insiders. Even though Brittney's on-court performance wasn't always up to par, some players felt that she was being pushed as the league's face. People weren't shocked that the league didn't jump to her defense as the lawsuit facts began to surface. They didn't conduct any of their PR damage controls, spin the story, or stop the leaks. They simply became silent. More dubious than anything they've ever done is that. This is when things get crazy. Not only did Brittney Griner's camp hint that she could think about competing against guys. It's strange in many respects, but they've apparently already contacted the Rockets and the Hornets, two NBA teams, for scrimmage consideration.
It said she could beat DeMarcus Cousins in one-on-one. And then they went around asking a bunch of NBA players. The head coach of the UConn girls, Gene, I can't remember his last name.
Oriema?
Yeah. He said, if there's no ref and they're playing one-on-one, I'm selling my house, I'm taking all my money out of my bank accounts, and I'm putting it all on DeMarcus Cousins.
The fact that they are only pursuing scrimmages at this time rather than full contracts or exhibition deals is what makes this so intriguing. Why is that important? Because they are testing optics when they participate in scrimmages. There is no obligation if there is no contract. However, it gives the go-ahead for a more significant adjustment if it wins over fans. Brittney is aware of it. Here's the actual query, though. Why right now? Why take the chance of being humiliated? Unless her past in the WNBA is even more detrimental than her future in the NBA? For elite female gamers, scrimmaging versus men is nothing new, as you are all undoubtedly aware. However, making it a full-fledged public job change isn't about demonstrating anything. It seems more like fleeing from something.
I'm glad she's that confident in her abilities. It's also a little delusion. It's not a walk in the park over here.
I'm just gonna use that to fuel this. I mean, I'm better, but it's okay. It's okay, little man.
Like the confidence be cheaper. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I got cuz on that one.
If there's no referee, I'm gonna go to the ATM and I'm gonna sell my house and I'm gonna put all my money on DeMarcus Cousins.
And another leak occurred just as things were beginning to calm down. This time, it was an audio message purportedly from a WNBA staff meeting in which a coach calls Brittney damaged optics in motion. However, what attracted attention was what transpired immediately thereafter. Her previous agent removed her from their featured talent list, unfollowed her, and removed all of her promotional posts. That doesn't happen overnight. This can only be explained by a major fracture that occurred behind the scenes. Something so significant that it might alter everything we believe to be true about the game. What is the NBA saying then? They haven't made any public statements, as is customary. However, verified sports journalists have posted internal communication that indicates curiosity rather than commitment. Brittney's suggestion felt more like a PR reset than a real offer, according to a league insider. To be honest, that makes sense because no one is now viewing her basketball tape. Her headlines are being watched by them, and her team appears to be relying on just that. The storyline twist, though, is that fans are currently divided. Some claim she's courageous. You know, rewriting history and shattering barriers, but not so much for others. The quiet section is being spoken aloud. You don't need smoke and mirrors if you're good enough. When you combine all of that, the entire story begins to resemble theater rather than a competition. However, since Brittney Griner's media approach is an intriguing aspect of the entire situation, we must first analyze it.
Walk on the court and it hit me hard, you know? So just looking forward to all those moments, just walking in on the first home game.
I played in front of everybody in one place, honestly, since like high school, honestly. So just having everybody here right now.
They have made every effort to make this change seem acceptable to fans over the past 48 hours. A competitive reevaluation was announced. Old footage of Brittney dunking on male players was leaked, and a teaser for a documentary series that would follow her next chapter was released. Insiders claim that a whole documentary is already in post-production for that final one. Brittney is reportedly already soft-launching it with low-key promotions. This explains why her name and her recent chat with Cam Newton have been the talk of the town lately. For instance, it was clear from the interview that Brittney was trying to come across as more relatable. Even the title, which claimed that Brittney was telling the truth, appeared dubious. Brittney, on the other hand, is sitting there doing her best to be approachable and grounded.
Originally from Houston.
Yes.
H-Town.
Born and raised.
Right? How was that growing up in the city of Houston for you?
I mean, it was pretty easy at first. You know, I wasn't into sports really at first. I was an active kid, but like I was climbing trees, riding bikes, skating, all that. But I wasn't into basketball just yet. Grew up with my parents, and you know, they did their best to make sure I was on the straight path. But it was cool. It got hectic once I got to high school, and that dunk video came out. That's when life kind of started changing.
Right.
All of this does, however, raise the question of whether this action was motivated by redemption or rebranding, or by something else entirely that we are yet unaware of. A DM exchange in which someone asked, "Is she really moving to the NBA?" was released by an unidentified WNBA employee. "She's not moving," was the response. "She is sidestepping." Because deflecting indicates that there is something to conceal, that hit is different. And whatever she's concealing is significant enough to cause her to leave the league that helped shape her. And that has the potential to completely upend the league. Speaking about upending the league, the most important question at hand is what this means for the WNBA. The league is currently observing all of this and is doing nothing to stop it. Actually, they're not acting in any way that you might anticipate. No comments, no denial of the NBA rumors, and no attempt to steer the story. There was only one possible explanation for the quiet. The question of whether Brittney Griner was exposed or ultimately freed arises now that they have finished cleaning up after her. It's interesting to note that the lawsuit is still sealed, the emails are still unverified, and a major streaming site has already signed the documentary series, all as people continue to ask questions. Thus, it's possible that this is not a scandal. It might be a professional change masquerading as a gentle exile. If that's the case, what else is in store that would have compelled her to change careers before things got out of hand? As of right now, neither Brittney Griner nor The Dream has posted or commented. Although they aren't exactly opening doors, the WNBA is keeping an eye on things. Therefore, her destination is not the focus of the story. It has to do with what she is leaving behind. And this NBA action may be the quietest cover-up of the year until we find out what's in those sealed papers.